You're listening to The Luxury Item, the podcast on the business of luxury and the people and companies that are shaping the future of the luxury industry. Here's your host, Scott Kerr.
Following a turbulent year, the luxury market is roaring back to full recovery, fueled by strong gains in North America and Asia Pacific. Brands like Hermès and Louis Vuitton have steamed past their pre-pandemic sales. Cartier owner Richemont said sales in the 3 months through June were 22% ahead of 2019 levels. LVMH and Kerr are also significantly bigger businesses. Brands like Prada, Versace, Montblanc are riding the rebound as well. The pandemic pivot to online has helped shape e-commerce sales contribute to upwards of triple-digit growth for some of these luxury brands and account for a bigger slice of their overall retail sales. After being slow to the game and hesitant to evolve, the luxury sector seems to finally be embracing a future increasingly shaped by digital technology well beyond simple e-commerce. And it may have taken a pandemic to hasten things. Here today to talk about luxury's digital future is my guest Maria von Scheel-Plessen, Global Head of Media and Advertising at the German luxury brand Montblanc, known for its high artistry writing instruments, watches, and leather products. Maria has been leading global media at Montblanc from their headquarters in Hamburg since 2017 and is responsible for online and offline advertising. Before working at Montblanc, Maria managed marketing communication for luxury brands in 3 countries at Amazon, as well as e-commerce giant Zalando in Singapore, where she led marketing communication for Southeast Asia. Maria is also a frequent international keynote speaker and was recently honored by Luxury Daily as one of the 2021 Luxury Women to Watch. Welcome to the Luxury Item, Maria.
Thank you so much, Scott.
Thank you so much for joining me. Are you in Hamburg now?
Yes, exactly. In Hamburg, north of Germany.
So maybe a good way to kick things off for our listeners is to tell them a little bit about Montblanc, the brand, and what your role is there.
Sure. So Montblanc is a German brand focused on luxury goods. So some of you might have already heard about Montblanc, especially in the context of writing instruments, so pens. We have a very evergreen item, which is called the Meisterstück, and Montblanc has been around for more than 110 years. So we are originally from Germany. We belong to the Swiss luxury goods company Richemont. And in there, of course, you also have very great luxury brands like Cartier, IWC, Piaget. So we are in a very, very good and strong company. And yes, my role at Montblanc, I am the global head of media and advertising since just over 4 years, and I'm seeing all the areas of media strategy, buying, some special projects, also now more and more coming up, for example, in the area of predictive buying, of attribution modeling, customer and audience, which we're also, I think, going to talk about a bit later. So my area is pretty big, pretty diverse, and I'm taking care of 22 markets.
So you've been in the business for a while and you've been involved in digital for a while. So given how digital is transforming the luxury industry, what are some of the most significant changes that you've observed over the years?
So especially now in the past years, we have seen a super strong shift towards e-com, online purchases. So I would say there's more trust for online shopping, and the appetite has definitely increased. Also, I see now a more extended product portfolio. So in the past, luxury brands were also a bit more hesitant to go live with their full product portfolio, especially for the limited editions or high-priced items. But now, especially due to the pandemic in the past years and this very strong shift, we also see higher average order values and also, I would say, quicker path to conversion. So there's more demand on one side for online shopping, and at the same time also there's a strong demand towards luxury brands, especially in the sense of brand values. So these days also the consumer wants to have the brand associated with key topics in today's society. So you have sustainability, you have heritage, you have diversity measures. So I would say to live up to the current standards and also to meet the consumer expectations has been speeding up even more. And it's also now our time to transform digitally and also in terms of the values we are representing.
Yeah, and when the pandemic forced many stores to close, luxury brands had no choice but to focus on digital sales and digital transformation. And it's shown the spotlight on online luxury and fashion in a big way as an area for growth. So how did that impact the way Montblanc reached its customers?
hmm So indeed, previously we had around about 80% offline sales, 20% online sales, and now this has shifted a lot. And especially now recently, our logistics needed to scale up very quickly. We needed to also improve our functions in terms of website exploration, for example, and also the on-site experience because of the very, very strong shift and higher amount of traffic we have been receiving. And some things, for example, we implemented is the 360-degree view of products, virtual mirrors, also a big topic amongst other luxury brands I've been seeing. And yeah, there have also been some surprises. So, for example, search has become our strongest channel due to
Hmm.
the higher increase in search demand. And also, our social advertisement now has a positive ROI and is not only used for awareness, brand building, but also now generates more and more sales. So, the sales channels and acquisition channels have also heavily extended, and we're very happy about this trend.
Yeah, did anything surprise you from a demographic standpoint or the
Mm-hmm.
types of products they purchased or just any kind
Mm-hmm.
of behavioral insights?
Yes, so firstly, really the increase in terms of average order value. So there was a higher tendency to buy more premium and high priced products. Also, limited editions, watches, for example, have been not as easy to be sold online, but also here we've seen an increase. At the same time, also there's more time spent on website now, so we also had to stock up in terms of editorial content. We have become more, I would say, like an online flagship store
Hmm.
and not only a transaction page. So we also increased the amount of, as said, editorial content, and we had a lot more new visitors and new purchases. So a lot of first-time clients during this time, which is also then of course proven by the fact that we have a stronger shift towards online purchases. And at the same time, also in terms of demographics, so we did see that we acquired a younger audience than our usual database.
Hmm.
And at the same time, also we strongly increased the audience 45 plus. So also some customers who have been heavily relying on our boutiques and really to have the look and feel, full experience now trusted us and went online, which is great. So actually we extended in both ways in terms of demographic and have more items per order and also higher average order value.
Were they also spending more time?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So what
Almost
is
3 times as much.
three times as much? So what does that tell you about the luxury consumer?
I think now really the hesitancy is not as big anymore, and now as also together with us as well, many brands had to really scale up in terms of online experience. Many first purchases have already happened, so I think we are yet still to see whether these newly acquired customers who joined us online during the pandemic are also going to come back and are going to be retained for second online purchases, or maybe they'll go offline again. But this brings us also now more to the discussion of really being able to track and match online and offline customer profiles and data, which are in strong demand right now.
Yeah. In fashion and luxury brands, innovation priorities have really become clearer this year. And we're starting to see more fashion and luxury brands accelerating their new technology related product launches, whether it's, video commerce and digital clienteling to the metaverse and blockchain. What technologies are you most excited about?
Mhm. So there's for us a big discussion around audiences, especially looking at the cookieless future,
Hmm.
on how to ensure that we can increase our CRM database and can also continue to use these audiences across our advertisement, marketing, media journeys, and really also establish proper customer journeys. So some tools I would say I'm very excited about, but I know we're here a bit late to the party, is, for example, Salesforce, so Salesforce advertising, to ensure that we have one single user ID, and we can speak to the same consumer across several platforms and touch points. Another tool which I'm very excited about, what we are currently working on, is, for example, predictive buying. So we are going to launch a dashboard in which we can see while, for example, a campaign is live and we have a certain objective, let it be to increase awareness, to drive traffic to our website, or to increase the number of purchases. This tool is going to give us some recommendation in terms of what channel and which product category to activate to really fulfill the target we have set ourselves for this type of campaign. So to have a sort of AI in the background, and also I would say internally argument by numbers, because this also then requires buy-in from different teams, right? So we have not only the media teams on my team, but we also have then CRM, we have the PR team, we have the SEO team. So all of them are really contributing to our overall online sales mix. And to do this and to become more efficient, we are now looking more into, as said, predictive buying. And then another project which I'm very excited about is attribution modeling. So we are also looking into which channel we should activate to increase different sales touch points. So in this analysis, we are also including phone sales. You know, luxury still have a high amount of phone sales, also especially at Montblanc. So we want to ensure that also phone sales are being included when we look at the cost per lead and also the conversion value of the consumer. And at the same time, we're also onboarding offline sales data. So we can match that back online, and we know then if the consumer came over social media ad or over display ad. And this is for us very crucial information to also adapt the way we are buying our media and communicating in the future.
Yeah, what are you hoping to find? What is your ideal scenario coming from this, from all that research and predictive buying?
Yeah, so for example, looking at the social media platforms, which often have the assumption that they're really more an awareness driver and can't generate too many sales, having them included also for the offline purchases will be very insightful, and we will, I'm pretty sure, see an incremental ROI, so really an uplift in terms of ROI, if we don't only consider online to online sales, so from online advertisement to online sales, but also online to offline. And I would also like to know some soft KPIs, for example, how many people walked by the store, how many people subscribe to our newsletter and can also purchase later on. So to really connect the dots and to give a true value to media channels and also in general marketing channels, which so far do not have the reputation of being the biggest sales drivers.
And do you think perhaps what will come out of this is sort of a new profile of the Montblanc consumer?
Yes, definitely. And also the profile by product category, as we have a very diverse product segments, from leather to writing to watches to new technology. We have different profiles, different targeting possibilities also by product category. And this is something which I would like to optimize and further invest in to, as I said, become more efficient and more on point in terms of targeting.
And you oversee global advertising and media. And given the various rates of recovery from the pandemic around the globe, with North America and Asia returning to pre-pandemic luxury sales levels and Europe a little slower on the rebound, when you look at the big map, does that influence the way you speak to consumers in different regions?
Mm-hmm. Yes, definitely. So especially talking about China, we do have from headquarter side a global communication approach, but we have also localized content. So China is very specific indeed. We do have different ecosystems. We do have a different profile also in terms of consumer. So we do have, for example, local brand ambassadors. We do have ones which we are using from headquarter side and then in China. So rest of world and China, both areas, but some brand ambassadors are only present in China, which is very important because the landscape is moving very fast, and we need to also, of course, associate ourselves with someone who is currently very much in the talks in China China. And at the same time, we have to also consider that we do have very different local events in China versus rest of the world. So like Chinese New Year or Singles Day, there are different peaks in terms of purchases and also in terms of gifting moments. And we are a very strong gifting brand. So Montblanc still is one of the products which is being gifted to you by someone else. And because of that, we also need to really listen to the local consumer and also see when exactly are sales peaks for us. And at the same time, also we have different types of products which are selling there the best, also due to the trends like logomania, which have been there already pre-pandemic, during then of course a decrease, and now also coming back. So you really have consumers who are dressed from head to toe in one brand. And that's a trend which also slowly came over here, but originated also from the Asian markets and also came from China. So yes, now with the rebound, we are, let's say, also relying on our best practices from the past, but at the same time also listen to the very localized consumer approach.
And Montblanc is doing an amazing job digitally. It always seems to have a very high digital IQ. And I think the brand has about, like 1.5 million, maybe a little bit more followers on Instagram. How are you using Instagram and other social platforms to get younger audiences excited about the brand?
Yeah, so we have firstly a different approach in terms of communication. So you have perhaps also seen or heard about that writing, which is still one of our key or core assets of our maison, of our brand. Writing has increased again in terms of relevancy. So you have seen, for example, some calligraphy classes, calligraphy content also on social. Some graffiti has also been more present. So these are trends from which we are benefiting, same as journaling, especially now during the pandemic. A lot of also younger audience has gone back to journaling. So these type of trends can be used also from our side because they are very inspirational and at the same time also often can be connected to gifting moments for us because we have an always on gifting approach on social. So we are always present basically. When you have shown interest, for example, previously in a product, you would see it on Facebook and Instagram and you would be potentially be targeted. So we do have an always on communication to go away from the communication terms of campaign bursts, but really be as present as possible. And as said, our communication is also what we see very product based because it performs best. So I would say it's a combination of lifestyle and also inspirational content, but also very product focused because we are known for the quality of our products, for the heritage of the products, and that's something the consumer really, really wants to see. And another social channel, if you can consider it social channel, is LinkedIn, with which we are very happy and also working on a regular basis because
targeting professionals.
Exactly. Yeah, there's a very high business audience, so you can even target someone, for example, who just changed jobs or got a promotion and maybe wants to treat himself or herself. So there are certain moments on time where you
graduated.
Yeah, exactly. Or graduated. Ideally already then.
Of course, right.
Earlier the better. So that's a very interesting type of targeting, performs very well for us. So we're also big fans of LinkedIn.
Is Montblanc doing any social selling now?
Yes, yeah, we are also more and more now into social selling, but that's also then more driven by our influencer strategy.
Right. And influencer marketing is finally taking its place as an important tool in the broader marketing arsenal. How does Montblanc use influencers in its marketing? I know you talked about it a little bit a few seconds ago in China, but overall.
So we do have, I would say, a macro and micro influencer strategy. So on one side, we do have the big influencers or brand ambassadors like Cillian Murphy from Peaky Blinders. We have Peggy Gou, the Berlin-based DJ, or we also have Spike Lee. And at the same time, we have the micro influencer strategy. So as we know that our headquarter selected ambassadors might not be relevant in all markets also, or like when I could talk about markets, it's a different countries also in which Montblanc is present. So there's also a localized approach where the market can suggest also someone who is very relevant in their specific region. And they are being introduced or mostly also in terms of communication for our social channels.
And it also seems luxury programmatic spending has increased its share of online ad spend over the past several years. So how does Montblanc use programmatic advertising to target customers?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so programmatic is a tricky subject for us, I would say, because in the end, as our price points are pretty high and it's not a done deal or quickly done deal to sell online for the more premium products. Programmatic has become more attractive for us now as we were able to optimize towards new KPIs. So, for example, cost per unbound website visit is a KPI which I really like. So we can really see the incremental effect and also importance of programmatic.
Mm-hmm.
We do also optimize towards cost per click and cost per lead, but it takes a lot of steps in programmatic while at this to purchase, while at the same time we work on an inclusion list basis. So we only have a certain amount of website on which we want to be present in the luxury environment. So also here we're pretty limited. So we can't really go as big as an FMCG brand in programmatic advertisement. So it's not so scalable for us at the same time. And also the standards in programmatic advertisement are not really up to my satisfaction yet. So if there would
what would you like? What would you like to see, Maria? What would those standards be? Like what would
I would like to, especially in terms of when I'm buying, right? I only want to pay for a click or for an impression when I know that my advertisement has been seen 100%. So it's really 100% present on the screen and has been there for at least 3 seconds. Because otherwise, how do you capture the details of a watch? How do you capture the function and the details and highlights of a pen in just 1 second, and your ad is only visible like 20%, and then you already have to pay. So this for me is a bit tricky, and there are not so many publishers yet which are adhering to these standards. So some do more and more, while at the same time also, as I said, we can't pay on impression basis, then would be really a bit of a waste of budget. We really only want to pay when someone is clicking or then even going to the website and not bouncing. And as we see these trends emerging, it gets better and better. But still, I don't think we are where we should be.
You know, expectations of luxury customers are changing all the time, and the bar is getting higher and higher for personalized experiences. So how does Montblanc match the real world personalized customer experience with the online one?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so our credo is really also to be as personal as possible, to also show the high quality of the products, have more video content, engaging content, 360-degree content, and click and collect is also something which has become more and more popular and being more used now. And I think just to have the content as personalized as possible with, for example, what someone has viewed previously, what someone could also like, so more suggestion basis. And at the same time, what I see in the industry a lot are now since some time already, chatbots and also virtual mirrors. So we tried some chatbots on Facebook, didn't work as well. I think there's still some improvements needed until we can really trust, I would say, the bot to have a good experience for our premium consumers. But I would say it's still work in progress, especially in the luxury industry, to really be as personal as possible.
So how does Montblanc think about the value of data in driving growth and building relationships with customers?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, super important. So data is really key for all of our future activities, for our current activities. We also now launched, for example, Salesforce, a new tool to capture more data and to also automate in terms of communication. I think there should be even more incentives also in the future to sign up and for us then to generate more first-party data. So there's really, I would say, an onboarding process everywhere. There are persona studies being launched. There are brand lift studies being launched. So to check also pre and post campaign investment, how our audience has changed, how the demographics have changed. So we need to know more about the consumer. And in the end, we also need to ensure we capture as many leads as possible across all different departments. And also when we, for example, launched the persona study, we also saw that the way who we're thinking of our customer right now actually differs to whom the customer is today. And by that also we redefine our communication approach for also future advertisement. So this was for us a really, really key learning, and it's really crucial for us in the future to stay on top of that. And secondly, also in the terms of contextual targeting. So as said, when we are facing now the cookieless future very soon, it will be tougher for us to retarget someone across different websites.
Mm-hmm.
We also have to go more into contextual targeting to have parameters in place and sort of bundle audiences and then customer data to build lookalikes and use them in our media strategy.
I want to jump back to China for a second. They're saying that in 2025, China will account for like half the world's luxury purchases. So in order to serve this digitally savvy audience, brands really need to be constantly upping their online game. Which platforms in China should luxury brands be thinking about now that you're excited about?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So from my point of view, key players or key platforms are, for one, Little Red Book.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a social shopping platform where the user can also review different products. It's very engaging, and also you can by that grow your presence in China. So that's one of the platforms where I see a lot of traction these days. Secondly, also many luxury brands are selling on Tmall boutique. So also here you are in very good company amongst the likes of Chanel, for example, or Dior. So that's really crucial to step into the social shopping platforms in China. And also I read recently that 90% of China customers are interested in products shown through augmented and virtual reality. So
Right.
also in terms of the way we speak to the consumer and the types of assets we are using on these platforms, we need to be 100% aware that it's a bit of a different demand or different expectation than we still have here west of world.
You said in an interview sometime last year that the role of the marketer will change substantially with data scientists and engineers becoming much more in demand. Can you elaborate on that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so as said, so previously data is really, really key. And I've seen at when I joined Montblanc and also in other luxury maisons when I joined the industry, that there is a lack of analysts and also data scientists because there's now so much data being generated. There's so many insights we need to distribute across the organization. They can be so helpful for others internally also to make the right decisions. So for me, it's really key to stock up and to increase, to have more employees in these type of fields who are able to connect the dots, to analyze the data, to share across the organization. And for example, when I was working at the Asian Zalando in Singapore
Mm-hmm.
some years ago, it's also a big e-commerce platform in Asia, fashion e-commerce. When I joined there were just 40 people responsible for SEO and SEA. And when I came here, there were some SEA managers in the markets. Now we also increased the amount of SEA managers, so Google Search, for example. And we really need to generate more reports internally to share and to know who is our consumer, to also know how we need to adapt our communication, and to really argument based on numbers and not based on personal taste.
Right. Are you seeing luxury brands starting to hire more data
Mm-hmm.
scientists?
Yes, yeah. I see also in my network a lot of requests and job profiles being shared. And as said, data scientists, we have more engineers also. So really in terms of data crunching and to onboard potential new tools which are coming, and also to ensure the future of potential in-housing strategies for some brands. I see also that a lot of data scientists are being required.
That's great. So my final question, Maria, is the luxury item question, which I ask all my guests. So if you were stranded on a deserted island and you could only have one luxury item with you, what luxury item would that be? It can't be any form of transportation, can't be anything that requires mobile service. It's just you, the island, a bunch of palm trees, and surrounded by water.
I was a bit struggling in between, on one side, to bring a watch to keep track of the time until someone is coming to potentially pick me up, so I don't lose track of the time and don't take too many naps. I could also subscribe myself for the Patek Philippe waitlist. Could also be an idea, so I can return my watch when I'm being picked up. At the same time, also I think
I love that you're optimistic, Maria. I love that you're being optimistic that you're going to be picked up.
I hope so.
So you're saying a watch, a Montblanc watch.
Yes, definitely.
Of course. Maria von Scheel-Plessen, Global Head of Media and Advertising for Montblanc. Thank you so much for joining me on The Luxury Item.
Thank you so much for your time. It's been a pleasure.
That's it for this episode of the Luxury Item Podcast. Thank you so much for listening. If you found this useful and entertaining, I would be really grateful if you can share it with a friend or colleague. I would love it if you subscribe so you never miss an episode. And while you're there, be sure to rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. It really helps other listeners find us. The Luxury Item Podcast is a production of Silvertone Consulting. I'm your host, Scott Kerr. Until next time.